People say this is political, and Tedros, you're a technical organization, don't say it. But if it's fueling the pandemic, and that's the very reason, why wouldn't I say it? At the end of the day, we should know the root cause of the problem and try to address that. It's fueling it. The cracks between people, between parties, is fueling it.
The head of the World Health Organization there warning that political divisions are fueling the pandemic. His comments come days after US President Donald Trump's criticism and decision to suspend funding to the body. Well, to better understand what's at the core of the ongoing debate and how we got here, CGTN's Rooe Ruttenberg takes a look at the founding of the WHO and its role over the years.
In 1945, at a meeting in San Francisco to create the United Nations, representatives from Brazil and China suggested a global health body to deal with global health concerns. 3 years later, the World Health Organization was born as a UN agency.
Over the decades, WHO teams have crossed continents to promote cross-border health cooperation. Now, a small but growing chorus of critics here in Washington is accusing the organization of having taken, quote, China's side in the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The WHO willingly took China's assurances to face value, and they took it just at face value, and defended the actions of the Chinese government, even praising China for its so-called transparency. I don't think so.
Last week, U.S. President Donald Trump announced he'd be pausing America's annual contribution to the WHO, around $400 million, pending a review. Top Democrats denounced the move as senseless, dangerous, and illegal. The WHO's chief called it regrettable.
COVID-19 does not discriminate between rich nations and poor, large nations and small. It does not discriminate between nationalities, ethnicities, or ideologies. Neither do we. This is a time for all of us to be united in our common struggle against a common threat.
Others were less diplomatic.
By cutting off WHO funding, Trump is committing a crime against humanity somewhere. The WHO is not only an organization fighting against COVID-19 and Ebola and major health emergencies. It's the international agency that works and makes treatment recommendations on AIDS, malaria, tuberculosis, chronic diseases, the whole range of global health issues and global health systems.
As a developing country, China's contribution to the WHO is around 1/10 of Washington's, but that may be changing. China's assessed contribution, essentially its membership dues, went up nearly 20% this year, and Beijing recently pledged a voluntary contribution of $20 million to help in the global fight against COVID-19.
I think China and other member countries are going to step up. And also keep in mind, WHO peace funding, not just from sovereign countries, but also from contributions, donations from private entities as well.
In 2017, Beijing signed a cooperation agreement with the WHO to support its work through the China-led Belt and Road Initiative. Dubbed the Health Silk Road, it's now being put to use.
At this point, everything is all about saving lives, saving lives, saving lives. So we need to get this stuff out into those countries that are fighting against this virus, and also to those countries that are actually waiting for that to happen.
He agrees the American cuts are a setback, but not a dead end.
WHO is continuing to function, maybe not as effective as it used to be. With that, some of the programs will have to be slashed, but WHO is going to continue to function.
Rooe Ruttenberg, CGTN in Washington.